Kaixo, arratsaldeon, ongi etorri Match Life bigarren bilera honetara. Good afternoon and welcome to the second live connection of this Match Bilbao Bizkaia very innovative and international event for you to discover the tourist offer of our territory, Bilbao Bizkaia, in the Basque Country. Do you remember the lesson that we had this morning? Do you remember what this word means, ongi etorri? Any guess? Yes, it means welcome, because this is what we want to do. We would like to welcome you to these streaming events in which we will take you to a wonderful route throughout our territory. And I have to say that Match Bilbao Bizkaia has two different areas. On one side, these streaming events in which we will be connecting with some of the most interesting and attractive locations in Bilbao Bizkaia to get into its tourist offer, to have a deeper view. And then on the other side, there is a B2B workshop in which you will be able to connect with experts in our region that will facilitate your work and will help you with anything you need. And it's a great opportunity to make very interesting contacts. So, we've structured these streaming programs into 4 live presentations, each of them lasting about an hour. Today, starting right now, we are gonna make a wonderful trip to the coast. You'll see how beautiful our coastline is. And then tomorrow, don't forget, because we have 2 more dates. At 11 o'clock in the morning, we will have an overview at our MICE offer, meaning meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, and later on in the afternoon at 3 o'clock we'll make another wonderful journey, in this case to inland Biscay, to see and enjoy our beautiful nature. I have to say that these broadcasts are fundamentally practical, and our aim, of course, is that you have fun, but most important thing is that you find this information useful. And that is why at the end of each of these streaming programs we will dedicate some time to answer your questions with 2 experts that will join me here on set. And please, I encourage you to participate, because it's very, very easy. At the bottom of your screen, in your Zoom screen, you will find that little sign, and if you click there, a small window will pop up, and you just simply write down your question here, and it will come straight to us. So I have to say that at any time you can also log in into Virtual Match, and you are already 170 experts, professionals from 17 different European markets who are actively participating. Thank you so much for that. There you will have the opportunity to meet our experts in the Basque Country, and among the exhibitors you will find local DNCs, accommodation experts, OPCs, and of course you'll be able to get in touch with the Convention Board and the Bilbao Bizkaia Tourism Board. So, now that all this information has been said, let's go for it, and let's go straight into the sea, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to dedicate the next hour to our beautiful Cantabric Sea. And this word, itsasoa, this is the Basque word for sea. Can you listen to the sound of it? Itsasoa. It almost sounds, it reminds me like the sounds of the waves, doesn't it? I have to ask you, do you remember where we are? Where we are located? Let's have a look at the map. This is the Bay of Biscay. Here are we. The star would be Bilbao, our capital city. We had a beautiful overview of our capital this morning, such a livable city. You can see that it's very close to the sea. This is La Ria, our estuary that connects the capital straight with the coast, and this red line would be our coastline. 150 kilometers of stunning coastline that you can enjoy from any unimaginable height, because we have many, many cliffs with stunning views, and also 28 beaches of any type. Urban beaches and others where you can spend a safe and great time with your family, even small children, small coves, and also great spots to practice water sports. So I have to say that again, I'm not going to be alone in this journey. I'm going to be accompanied by our darling reporters. Do you remember them? Yes? Vanessa, Maria, Mia and Bart? Okay, let's start saying hello to Vanessa. Hello, Vanessa. Tell me, where are you this time?
Well, what a great day, Adela, to be in a Txakoli winery. Txakoli, it's the typical Basque white wine produced by the sea. It's the case of the Txakoli produced here in Itxasmendi winery. Itxasmendi is a Basque word that means the mountain by the sea. And this is where we are, in the perfect landscape for a great journey through Txakoli.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. We will get back to you very shortly. And now I have to say something about our beaches, something that our visitors appreciate so much. And it is the fact that they are very easily accessible with the public transport. You can even travel to them by metro. High cliffs, ideal sandy beaches, marshes full of fauna and vegetation. The coast of Bizkaia is close by, just a few kilometers from Bilbao and its metropolis, but breathes at its own rhythm. There, where our landscape is covered and uncovered every 6 hours with all its elegance. With dramatic scenarios such as San Juan de Gaztelugatxe, a jewel on the Biscayan coast, until not long ago known only to locals, but after its appearance in the series Game of Thrones, it has become a tourist icon worldwide, and for a good reason. Biscayan fishing villages, enchanting and charming, with narrow streets that smell of salpetre and whose inhabitants still have the genuine character of fishermen. Villas that are a little hidden and at the same time cosmopolitan, happily welcome visitors from all over the world. Many of them are attracted by the spectacular nature and unbeatable surfing conditions and other water sports. Charming hotels and small restaurants overlook the fishing harbors. It is this proximity that makes Bizkaia a paradise for fish and seafood lovers, which are prepared here using their own recipes, some very old and others very modern. We also have an original white wine, very rich and sparkling, just like its name, Txakoli. The coast of Bizkaia, 150 kilometers and endless plans. So, and now that we had a quick overview at so many things that we can enjoy from our coast, the world of Txakoli, which is so close to the ocean in our case, and of course our beaches and fishing villages, I think it's time to go to the beach, don't you think so? I even brought my bag with everything I need. Here I have my towel, here I have my sunscreen. Oh, but where is it? I can't find it. The most important thing. Oh yes, here it is. This is the public transport card. The only thing I need to go to the beach. Here it is as easy and accessible and simple as this. If you fancy having a swim in the sea, in an about 25 to 30 minutes ride, you will find yourself with your feet in the water and in a beautiful village with any surface you need to enjoy a beautiful day at the beach.
Hello Adela, how are you? Welcome to our metropolitan coast. Just a metro right away from Bilbao, right next to the big city. And look at what a beach we have here. And it's not the only one. From Bilbao, by metro, you can access no less than 10 beaches. Beaches of all styles and for all types of visitors, with clean, refreshing water from the Cantabrian Sea. Some of them are large, urban and bustling beaches, with plenty of movement and with all the desirable facilities. And others, nearby, are smaller and hidden, wild and lonely. All this just a metro ride from Bilbao. Doesn't it seem incredible? In the following video, I'm going to show you one of the 1001 possibilities offered by our metropolitan coast. Pay attention to the images. Here I am at the Old Town metro station in Bilbao, and I'm going to the beach. By metro, yes, another one of the great advantages of our city. On the coast near Bilbao, we will find charming beaches, easily accessible by public transport. In addition to the spectacular scenery full of cliffs, these beaches have recognized quality services, with lifeguards watching over the shore, together with showers, toilets and other equipment for the comfort of visitors. Clean sand, ideal waves, favorable winds and infrastructures for tourism and activities for all kinds of groups, families, couples. In just 20 minutes, I have arrived at Getxo, the famous residential area of the Bilbao metropole. There is a majestic Getxo with large mansions that reach down to the sea, where the marinas are located. And also the large urban beaches of Getxo. In Getxo, we also find the old port of Algorta, a picturesque place that attracts locals and visitors, with its small white fishermen's houses huddled together in steep alleyways where you can still smell the saltpeter, fish and arrantzale fishermen tradition. The streets are lined with bars and restaurants with their terraces, where locals and visitors alike enjoy a relaxed atmosphere and with views of the sea, the best local gastronomy on offer. And of course, fish is a must in the local cuisine. And there in the background, submerged in the sea, is the sireno of Getxo, a mythological being that interacts with the ocean, revealing and hiding parts of his anatomy depending on the tides. It is a work of art commissioned by the prestigious photography festival Getxo Photo, which is held here annually. The merman was so well liked by the Getxotarras that they decided to sponsor it. And from here, the coast becomes even more spectacular. High cliffs and beaches that open to the ocean. Fast-paced fleas against which the clear water breaks, an ideal place to practice all kinds of activities and enjoy nature. And who can help us to enjoy these pleasures that our metropolitan coast has to offer? Hi John, you are an active tourism professional. Could you explain to our audience the great offer of active tourism that the coast closest to our city offers?
Yes, of course. Here we have, in this area, we have a big variety of activities like sailing or jet skiing in the Bay of Biscay, scuba diving, bike routes, trekking, surfing in the different beaches, paragliding, paddle surf, big paddle surfing, kayaking and also equestrian.
And after so much excitement, a little bit of calm. We arrive also by metro to the noble town of Plentzia, where we find traces of its past as a small medieval commercial port, in the architecture, in the picturesque boats moored on the banks of the estuary, and in its church, which half is a religious building and the other half a defense tower. Charming historic centers with interesting architecture. Routes that look out over the sea, where we find old cranes from the time when iron was loaded directly onto the ships. and even fantasy castles in the neo-Gothic fashion of the 19th century, which you can discover riding a horse. How did you like the video of my day at the coast closest to Bilbao? This is a paradise, just a metro right away from Bilbao.
The video was marvelous, Maria. And I have to say there are so many beautiful places that it's sometimes hard to choose which one to visit. Okay, and now let me invite you to taste a glass of Txakoli. It is our white wine. It is tasty and sparkly, just as its name suggests. Txakoli. Yes, its wineries are spread out throughout Bizkaia, and they grow on the slopes of the mountains overlooking the sea. It's actually originally a marine wine, and the grapes need humid air and mild temperatures throughout the year. We are going now to the town of Gernika because the Itxasmendi winery is right there. And Vanessa is going to show us the many activities that we can enjoy in this winery and how beautiful it is. Vanessa, I can see that you are not alone, right?
I'm not alone. Txakoli is ready to taste right after the conversation with Edna, who is one of the winemakers at this winery, which is Itxasmendi. And she's going to tell us about the great prestige moment that the Txakoli is experiencing currently. So hello, Edna, thank you for being with us.
Hi, good evening.
What are the reasons for this Txakoli fever?
Well, there are 3 appellations and they are quite young. The Txakoli is an ancestral wine and it has a very long story because they used to make it at home for ages ago. And around the 90s, it was when it became professional, and we are producing it in the wineries. But also at the same moment, the white Spanish wines become famous and people started to consume and to drink more white wine, so we took the chance of the white wine.
It was a great idea, definitely. And well, Txakoli fits much as well with lots of types of dishes. What do you recommend us?
Well, actually, the Txakoli can be aged with the lees, aged in oak. We have different kind of Txakoli, red, late harvest. We have a sparkling Txakoli, so you can pair it with lots of things, with vegetables, with meat, with fish.
So not only with fish and shellfish, but with meat also.
Yeah, that's right. We have very aged Txakolis, like 2011, 2012, aged with oak, and you can pair it with meat. Definitely.
Wow, there is definitely a great variety. Edna, now that we are watching the great vineyards that you have in Itxasmendi, we can see that they add a special character, personality to the landscape. So maybe we could say that wherever there is white wine, it's a sign of good living?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, here in Basque Country, we have a very rainy weather and very warm winters and summers. And we can have the grass and we can have everything green the whole year. So that's an advantage. And we can discover here very nice places and the gastronomy, of course the Txakoli, and the history of Basque Country and Bizkaia. So
there's
yeah,
beautiful landscapes of the vineyards like Itxasmendi. Thank you very much, Edna, for sharing this moment with us. Well, Txakoli, it's a part of the great and complete and diverse gastronomy of this Biscayan coast. So since restaurants are close to the harbors, actually the little towns by the sea, they become special highlights or very good spots for people who are real foodies. So now let me invite you to a real trip through the Basque gastronomy in the coast of Biscay.
The coast of Bizkaia is one of the best places in the world for enjoying gastronomy. And the speciality in which our chefs shine most brightly is, as you can imagine, when it comes to cooking fresh fish from our Cantabrian Sea. fish and seafood of supreme quality, prepared with mastery and always enhancing their natural essences. This is one of the secrets of our cuisine, based on the gifts of the sea. Knowing how to find the exact point where the sea explodes on our palates in a sophisticated way, both in the high-level restaurants that you will find along our Biscayan coast, of which there are many and very well known by gourmets from all over the world, as well as in those more popular restaurants that serve fish, always fresh of course, cooked on the grill, as is the case of the legendary sardines in Santurtzi, a sensory pleasure with a friendly atmosphere that any visitor could afford. The quality of the products, the professionalism of the sector, and the privileged environment in which the restaurants of our coast are located, all of this will provide you with a gastronomic experience that can be considered, without a doubt, as one of the most enjoyable on the international circuit. We are waiting for you.
What a beautiful day at the wineries. We could see the sun shining. You can tell that the temperature is already rising because the summer is approaching. And now, the 8th of June, it's 3:22, and we have just the perfect weather to enjoy those wineries off the coast, of course. And now that everyone has eaten, I think it's the perfect time to get to know more about the character of our fishing villages. And I would point out two facts: the picturesque architecture and the humanity of its people. Because the fishermen, what we say in Euskera, in Basque, arrantzaleak, and their families have dedicated their lives to the sea. And this has passed over the generations, and this close relationship had an impact on those fishing villages that are always full of charm. Visiting any of our fishing villages is always a very genuine experience because you can even get to feel the traditions that are still alive. Bart is going to tell us everything about our fishing villages, and I know that he is right next by the sea.
Hello, Adela, and hello to our wonderful audience. Here I am in the beautiful port town of Bermeo, a place where I would say I'm as happy as a clam, but as it is the world tuna capital, I guess I have to say I'm as happy as a tuna. Here you will find beautiful things, but the thing that we're gonna start out with first is a boat ride that's gonna take us along the Biscayan coast to check out different fishing villages. In this way, we'll also get to know the Basque character that makes these sailors and fishermen unique. We're going to be enjoying the splendid environment offered by these very charming fishing towns, walking through the small streets and enjoying the world-class gastronomy that they have to offer. I'm telling you, it's delicious. We're going to be getting all of this from the perspective of a boat that's leaving from here, the port of Bermeo, the most important port in the Cantabrian Sea. Wow, we're going to be getting on a boat. This boat is incredible. Its name is Egaluse. In Basque, the word Egaluse refers to the highest quality tuna around. Let's do it. This boat can take you on a variety of different routes, or you can even design your own. For example, it can take you to the site of San Juan de Gasolgache, a place where the TV series Game of Thrones filmed Dragonstone. And over here we have the very famous island that is called Isaro, an island that is full of legends. Centuries ago, Franciscan friars attempted to move here, and legend has it that one of them had a girlfriend who was in Bermeo, and he would swim from the island to the town of Bermeo to visit her. I really hope he had a good towel. What we do know for sure is that the island was attacked in the 16th century by French pirates, who were led by none other than Sir Francis Drake. Oh, Captain, my captain, I have a question. Are there pirates in these islands? So we might be able to say maybe some visitors that occasionally go around there. But also speaking of visitors, what do they say about the experience? after sailing past Isaro Island, we find ourselves going towards the beautiful rock that's called Cape Ogonio. It's made out of limestone, and people use it for climbing. It also has beautiful holm oak trees that you can see on the side that are a real botanical treasure. The Biscayan coast offers tons of possibilities for pretty much every single kind of audience around. People of all ages and different interests can always find something they like. For example, you can do whale watching. You could even go see dolphins. I would also highly recommend checking out the Crusoe Treasure Winery, an underwater winery. It's an immense experience. It's an incredible experience where you get to try something that's truly unique. On the other side of Cape Ogonio, we have the beautiful fishing village of El Anchobe, a village where all the houses are facing the sea and almost every single window offers views of it. These beautiful fishing villages in the Biscayan coast are very well known for their traditional festivities. In the middle of the summer, everything kicks off with an incredible ambiance, and people have a great time. Check out the fun. Fishing villages still have a very authentic style. With their colorful buildings set against the rugged backdrop of relatively rocky areas, it creates an interesting contrast, as it can be a little bit wild sometimes. Behind the Cape of Santa Catalina with its beautiful views, you can find yourself in the town of Getxo, a town that has everything. It's got beaches, it's got leisure activities, it's got world-class gastronomy. And if you come to visit in the summer, you'll find an incredible atmosphere, and you'll feel like you're at the gateway to paradise. Did you enjoy the experience? I hope so. I know I did. It looks like everybody else did as well. This is an amazing thing that absolutely everyone can do regardless of their age. Take care. And now we're entering the old town of Bermeo, which is a bit like traveling in time. But remember what I said previously, we are in the world tuna capital. And you can visit the canneries here in Bermeo just to see how this beautiful product is packaged and put together. We're not just talking about tuna, all right? I know everyone might have a sort of conception about that. What we're talking about here is something that's a true delight, a gastronomic experience, an ambrosia, a nectar of the gods, the most incredible thing that you could try on Earth. And I am not exaggerating at all, not one bit. Well, maybe a little bit. But Laura, what do you think about the tuna here?
No, I don't think that we are exaggerating, because people love the tuna. We are more than 100 years that our factory is in the market, and I think that is because people love our product.
And isn't it also true that you can have a pretty unique experience visiting some of the canneries here?
Yes, of course. When you visit the factory, you can see all the process, and then when you finish the visiting, you can try all the product. And tasting the product, people love. You can try the tuna, the ventresca, the Cantabrian anchovies, so it's amazing.
And you heard it straight from the source, folks. You've got to come here and try this and live this experience for yourselves. Seeing is believing.
I completely agree, Bard. Tuna is always good, but Biscayan tuna is in another level. And now, well, we're going to travel to a very special place, because there are places in the world where human beings and nature have been living together almost since the dawn of time, and this is one of them, Urdaibai, the largest estuary in hundreds of kilometers of coast. Fauna and flora here is incredible. There is so much biodiversity. It attracts species as interesting as the osprey bird. We even have the first albino osprey bird born here in Urdaibai, the first in the world. And it's also a perfect place to practice sports like surfing. This is the famous wave of Mundaka, the left wave that brings here people from all over the world. Bart couldn't miss the opportunity to go there and share with us his adventurous experience.
Hello, my friends. I'm very excited because I'm in a truly magical place. Here I am, surrounded by forests that are full of holm oak trees, next to the wonderful hermitage of San Pedro Acharre. It's an extremely beautiful place. It makes me feel like I'm in a fairy tale. And if we push down a little bit further this way, we'll get to Urdaibai, an extremely important natural biosphere reserve. And San Pedro de Acharre gives us the best views. Urdaibai is really a gem on the coastline here. Right next to the town of Mundaka, you can see how the sea comes in with strength and creates a wide estuary that is unmatched by any other on the Basque Coast. With big beaches, sandbanks, with marshes of great ecological importance, and it's also a place where you can enjoy just about any kind of activity that you want. Sports, relaxation, a little bit of fiesta, or just having fun hanging around. The Urdaibai Biosphere Reserve, its beauty is marked by the fact that things are constantly changing here due to the rising and falling tides and how the sea comes into the estuary. It's safe to say that there are no 2 minutes that are exactly alike here. So what are the top things that you can do in this area? Well, let's take a look in the next video. When the tide is low, you can walk for kilometers along the sandbanks and also enjoy the mountains that surround us. But, as a matter of fact, the best thing, the most recommendable thing to do is to enjoy the hiking trails that are very well marked and will take you deep inside the Cantabrian forest, which, as botanists say, is a real gem. And what can be said about Mundaka? A fishing village with 2,000 inhabitants that is famous all over the world because of its amazing surfing and specifically a left wave. I'm here with somebody who's also internationally famous and also locally famous for what he's doing related to surf. So, Craig, which part of the Basque Country are you from?
Just up the road here from a place called Ispaste, just on the road to Australia.
All right, cool. And what is it about this left wave that brings people from all over the world here?
It's a naturally formed wave on a sand bottom. The sand is actually very, very compact, like cement, so when we get the Atlantic swells, it lifts up the wave and makes a very powerful wave and a very long wave, and it can break up to 500 metres long.
Wow. Do you think I can maybe give it a shot?
500 metres may not, mate. We'll go for a short one.
All right, let's do it. Urdaibai is a paradise for anyone who wants to learn how to surf. Just about anybody can get started surfing due to the wonderful surf camps that offer a complete pack for visitors that want to check it out. They can get activities, access to the beach, transportation, lodging, excursions, and they can even do yoga. And that's why it doesn't matter how good or bad you are at surfing. Here in Bizkaia, there are tons of different surf schools where you can learn and become a pro. But it's not all just about activities related to surf or heights here in Urdaibai. It's also very attractive to take a kayak or try out stand-up paddle surf. The estuary provides a multitude of different activities that can be enjoyed by visitors, either moving inland or going out towards the sea. And of course, you can also move around one of Europe's most beautiful estuaries by taking a boat ride. We are in one of the most spectacular wetlands in Europe, an area, an ornithological and natural space that is so rich ecologically speaking that it was deemed the Urdaibai Biosphere Reserve by UNESCO in 1984. And as we move further inland towards the wetland, we can get closer to the Urdaibai Bird Center. It's a must-see, it's a place that you have to visit, which gives incredible birdwatching experiences for experts, beginners, and fun for the whole family. The most privileged bird that you can see there, the most exciting thing by far that you can't miss if you come here, is to see the osprey, which you might be able to see in other places, but believe me, it will not be better than what you will see here in Urdaibai. And the fact that these folks had time to paint shows you just how well they were living. Here, near the Urdaibai estuary, you can find the Sentimamine caves, where you can find cave paintings that are over 13,000 years old and are considered by historians to be some of the most important ones that we have from the Upper Paleolithic. In Urdaibai, visitors can also check out the Getxo. The Getxo is located in a town called Busturia, in a beautiful 19th century building known as the Clock Tower. In the Getxo, there are tons of activities, but there are specifically great ones that are focused on children and fun for the whole family. It's a great place to learn about and get knowledge and respect for biodiversity. A beautiful thing to do here in Urdaibai is to enjoy the sunset. It's a moment of total relaxation, peace, and tranquility, where you can just be alone with yourself and reconcile with the world. We'll be waiting for you here in Urdaibai.
Urdaibai, one of my favorite places in Biscay. So if we had to choose a town that stands out for sentimental and historical reasons, not only in Biscay, but even in the whole Basque Country, that would be Gernika. Gernika is the heart of of Bizkaia. Here we have this word, biot. It means heart, because it awakes so many emotions to most of us, Gernika. It is a symbol of Basque freedom, but it's also known as a martyr town, just as it was portrayed by Pablo Picasso in his famous art piece Gernika. And I think that Vanessa is now ready to show us the reason why Gernika is a must-see destination for any visitor.
Hello. Do you know each other? No, of course, I imagine not. So let me introduce you. Mr. Jose Maria Iparraguirre, our friend tour operators of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Jose Maria Iparraguirre, the bard, the poet. Looking at him, you might think that he's a very old-fashioned man, but let me tell you that during those days, he was a very modern person. It's said that only poets know how to explain the spirit of a culture. And he did it, yes. Iparraguirre, a Basque who traveled around the world with his guitar back in the 19th century, he wrote the song that unites all the Basque people, Gernikako Arbola, the tree of Gernika.
Gernikako arbola da bedenkatua, Euskaldunen artean guztiz maitatua.
Gernika is the heart of the Basque Country. The visit to the Gernika tree and Gernikako Batzarretxea, the assembly house, allows you to understand how, for centuries, the people of this small and old European town have defended their right to govern themselves. Itxaso, how do you explain our professional audience that Gernika is a good destination for their clients?
Well, Gernika is one of the most iconic places in the Basque Country. Now we are at the Assembly House, and this is the famous oak tree of Gernika. Both are living symbols of the history of the Basque people. And as the headquarters of the ancient Biscayan Parliament, this is the meeting point of all the territories that make up the Basque Country, and also for the shared cultural and ethnographic traditions.
In Gernika, the visitors can live a very, very intense experience. It's kind of like meeting the ghost of the horror of war.
In fact, since time immemorial, Gernika has been a place laden with significance and symbolism for all the Basques. The symbol of democracy and historic rights. This is why nothing could hurt more the Basques than the destruction of the town where the first Basque premier was sworn in under this tree of Gernika.
The bombing of Gernika was an air attack carried out on the civilian population on April 26, 1937. It caused around 130 deaths. In Gernika, a visitor can live a very, very intense experience. It's possible to visit the shelters where the population tried to protect themselves from the bombardment. Gernika. This is the extraordinary painting of Pablo Picasso that expresses what happened here. It's a cry in many voices against the horror of the war. This is the Gernika Peace Museum, dedicated to the culture of peace and human rights, a visit much appreciated by tourists from all over the world. All historical research indicates that the bombing of April 1937 responded not only to strictly military reasons, but also intended to symbolically destroy the Basque identity. But they did not succeed. Today's Gernika is a colorful, cheerful, and lively town. This is the famous fresh product market of Gernika, a meeting point that shows the soul of Basque agriculture. There is no other destination like Gernika in the Basque homeland. Here, the life lesson of our Basque identity is condensed like nowhere else. And a visit to Gernika ensures an unrepeatable experience for visitors.
We are not going far away from Gernika because the Itxasmendi winery is very close to this town. So let's step back into the pleasure of our Txakoli route with Vanessa. How are you?
Hi Adela, hi again. Well, I'm really enjoying in the charm of the Txakoli wine, and now I am with Cello. Hi Cello. Hi. Well, you are the owner of a local DMC, and you are going to share with us some tips so that we can get to know and discover this beautiful land, because it goes farther than Txakoli. So we could say that thanks to Txakoli, the Biscayan coast has become a real paradise for wine lovers, right?
It is indeed. Actually, thanks to the Txakoli, we can say that the coast of Biscay is most well-known internationally. Some of the Biscayan Txakoli's wineries has been awarded by international authorities like Decanter, for example. So that's very good for us because it gives us like a free promotion to the destination.
So I guess that all that you said, and including the landscape, there's lots of plans to do. What do you offer?
Thanks for asking that. It's a good question indeed. Actually, the agencies like mine, we can offer some packages, not only including wine, single winery, but we can put together that with a restaurant or eventually with visits to the land producers of tasteful products like tuna fish, for example, or anything coming from the sea or anything coming from the delicious land that we have around. So it's we can offer like tailor-made tours, and that's, I think, it's what we can really experience, or we can offer the clients to experience with us, like a whole immersion to our way of living here.
A true pleasure experience, a Txakoli experience.
It is, I would say, true and also authentic, because drinking Txakoli and eating the products that we have around in our restaurants or in all places, bars around us, it's like to become not only a tourist, but something more like a traveler, even a friend of the Basque culture, or even if they want to become a real Basque and live and stay living with us for the rest of their lives if they want to.
Be like a Basque or like a Biscayan.
That's it, being like a Biscayan Basque. So it's you all will be very welcome here whenever you decide to send us your clients and visit us.
Thank you very much for giving us all of those tips. I guess there is already some plans making in our audience. So Adela, now I give you back the floor because I'm sure you have other plans to offer to the audience.
Well, my perfect plan now would be to join us and have a tasty Txakoli glass with you both. Thank you very much, Maria and Cello. Goodbye. Okay, so I know that the proximity of the coast to the metropolis, to Bilbao, and the fact that it's as easy to access is something that our visitors appreciate a lot. But we really should consider the possibility of staying a night or two in one of our high quality accommodations on the coast, because spending a night in one of these rooms with such an amazing view over the Cantabric Ocean is an experience that I can assure you will never regret. And just to start waking your interest up, we've prepared a collection of images that I hope are sufficiently tempting.
The pleasure of traveling to the coast of Biscay adds to the pleasure of staying in one of its many varied and always charming resorts. They are located in the heart of our beautiful coastal towns, in their picturesque traditional urban centers, and also close to the fishing ports and marinas. You will also find privileged lodgings on the beach, or if you prefer, in a more discreet second line, just like on the slopes of our green mountains, like a balcony overlooking the sea. Let each visitor choose the location that best suits him or her, facing the great ocean of the Bay of Biscay. The accommodation on our coast combines traditional and avant-garde materials. Stone meets wood, and comfort and safety are always a guarantee of a pleasant stay. We have also hostels and surf camps for the more adventurous type, in natural locations and which ensure a great atmosphere of camaraderie. The accommodation on the Biscay coast has been welcoming visitors for many, many years, and the staff who run them know how to treat travelers with different origins and holiday objectives. Be sure to enjoy one or more nights in our hotels, rural tourism houses, hostels and coastal campsites. The possibilities, both in terms of relaxation and activities, are varied and comforting.
So in addition to an excellent gastronomic offer and beautiful and high quality hotel accommodations, I have to say that Biscay and Bilbao are very well connected to the rest of Europe by our city airport, the Cantabric Sea, and a very efficient network of roads and rails. The city airport is only 12 kilometers away from Bilbao, and it's connected daily with many of the most important European capitals. So these are some of the destinations, some of the cities that are connected with a direct flight to Bilbao. And let's have a look at some of the most important flight companies that fly to and from Bilbao. Even, for example, the cities London and Dublin are only a 2 hours flight away. So you just jump in an airplane and in a couple of hours you can enjoy all these beautiful experiences we are getting to know today. And ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of this live presentation. I hope you are having fun, that you are enjoying it, and you are finding all this information useful. And right now, it's my pleasure to open the question and answer session. So let's greet our experts here on set. Today we have with us Maru Leibar, who's a local guide. Welcome, Maru. And Enrique Hernáez, local DMC. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's have a look at the questions that we received. I'm going to log in and check them. Maru, just a curiosity while I select some of the questions. Are you a beach or a mountain lover?
I would never choose between any of them, because here, as you have seen in the video, you can go in the morning in the mountains and later on you can finish having a bath in the sea. So.
But well, you can't choose between mountain and beach. But you will agree with me that our beaches are beautiful and the water is just fresh enough to get you awake, don't you think?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and Enrique, which route would you recommend along the coast of Biscay? Because there are so many that sometimes it's hard to choose from, right?
It is very difficult because there are a lot of possibilities, but well, we recommend the river route until Getxo, and after they continue to Sopelana and following more to Gernika. There are possibilities for walking, easy ways, and also we have the important Urdaibai area that is possible also to do not only walking but also trekking, not so difficult, and the end in Lekeitio, Ondarroa, all this part. The coast of Bilbao Bizkaia is very spectacular for doing walking and seeing.
I think just the best thing is to maybe jump in a car and simply visit it all, don't you think?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go with the questions that so many professionals from 15 countries that have been accompanying us this afternoon sent to us. Let's go with the first question. It's coming from Stockholm. Emily wants to know, which is the place where Game of Thrones was filmed? Maru.
Well, we have different locations. The most important one is San Juan de Gaztelugatxe, and then you can also find Barrica. Barrica is the area where Daenerys goes out of the boat and reaches the land. Yeah. And the most impressive thing is the moment you arrive in San Juan de Gaztelugatxe and everybody's looking for the castle and suddenly they discover something completely different, in a way much better.
How much has it changed, right? San Juan de Gaztelugatxe, it used to be only known by locals and suddenly it's famous all over the world. Okay, let's go with another question from Copenhagen. Ingrid wants to know if there are boats that run all along the coast so you can visit the entire coast on a boat trip. Enrique.
Well, there are not a special route for all the coast, but we have in the river, we have regular services with boats for visit from Bilbao until the sea. We have also in Bermeo, Lekeitio, Urdaibai, San Juan de Gaztelugatxe, Lekeitio, all the coast. There are regular services that is possible to use, especially in summer, but also it's possible for groups or small groups of family to select, to reserve, to rent one boat for doing a special route.
Oh, that's a nice idea as well. Let's continue. Matthias from Köln wants to know if the fishing villages can be easily reached by public transport. Maru.
Yes, you can. As you have seen in the video, with the public transport car, you can reach almost every little town at the coast. But I will also suggest to hire a car, so you can reach the hidden gems of the coast as well. But yes, it's easy.
Great. And Jonas from Bern really enjoyed the boat activity, and he wants to know if this is something that can be organized for private groups. Enrique?
Yes, of course. The pelota is the unique experience that is impossible to see in other countries, in other places, and we organize for small groups or for big groups, for families, a special competition, a special exhibition of kayak and pelota. And also it's possible to arrange for individuals or groups to visit the championship competition, like private people, for mix the ambience with all the people, local people.
Yeah, and the atmosphere is always so vibrant, right?
The bets that is possible to do,
exactly.
All the ambience that we involve this special, this unique experience.
Exactly. So Julie from Munich has many senior clients, and she is a little bit concerned about the accessibility of the fishing villages. No wonder, because we've seen so many narrow streets and sometimes even steep streets. But Maru, what can you tell us about that?
Well, you have seen the narrow streets, but you have also seen, for example, in Bermeo, it's easy to arrive to the port of Bermeo, and there, if you are not able to go up the streets or the hill, you can just enjoy our pinchos, for example.
Okay, and let's go with the last question for Enrique. Regarding the Txakoli wineries, are the wineries in Bilbao or near Bilbao?
Yes, of course. We are specialists in Txakoli, and we have a lot of Txakoli negits in Euskera that permit to visit in 15 minutes from Bilbao, near Bilbao, in the interior or in the coast, and it's perfectly. And also we have the possibility, we have not in Bizkaia the red wine, but we have near, in the Rioja Alavesa, also the red wine, that Bilbao, for example, is the best, the city that more red wine from Rioja consume, and they know perfectly. And it's possible for visit in a day, in the same day, it's 1 hour and a half, to visit the Rioja Alavesa and to see the best wineries in Spain.
That is true. We do enjoy the art of life, no matter if it's food, drinking, partying, and it's true that Bilbao and Biscay, it's a perfect location to visit many other surrounding regions. Thank you very much, Enrique and Mario, for your time and for your advice.
Thank you.
See you next time. Okay, unfortunately, we do not have more time to answer here on set any more questions, but be sure that all of them will be answered, and you can check the website for that. Please let me remind you that tomorrow we still have more dates. At 11 in the morning, we will have an overview at our MICE offer, meaning meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions. And later on in the afternoon, at 3 o'clock sharp, we will have a beautiful road into the nature to see our beautiful wild treasures from inland Bizkaia. Also, please remember that from today and until the 18th of June, you have the opportunity to log into Virtual Match, and it is a workshop where you will be able to get in touch with experts in tourism in Bizkaia that will help you with anything you need. So today, this is everything. Just let me remind you our website, matchbilbaobizkaia.eus. And this is everything for today. It's been a pleasure to join you this afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Have a good afternoon.